another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in action, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Also keep in mind that the authors will frequently reverse the order and go from specific to general. The writer will RST list the specifics and then recap the idea with a general statement summarizing the main point. A good example of this is the famous chapter on love in 1 Corinthians 13. Verses 1-12 present the specifics. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but have not love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. Verse 13 then recaps the chapter with a general statement that summarizes the main point. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. 2 questions and answers. Occasionally an author will raise a rhetorical question and then answer that question. Paul does this several times in Romans. For instance, in Romans 6 verse 1 he asks, "What shall we say then? Shall we go on sinning so that grace may increase?" Paul then answers his own question in verse 2. "By no means. We are those who have died to sin. How can we live in it any longer?" In the verses that follow, the apostle continues to discuss the answer to his opening question in 6:1. He uses this type of question and answer format in numerous other places in Romans as well. This technique is not limited to Paul's letters. Mark uses the question and answer format in several places as the backdrop for the story of Jesus. For example, in Mark 2:1, 3:6 there are VE episodes that revolve around a question and an answer. The VE questions are: 1. Who can forgive sins but God alone? 2. Why does he eat with tax collectors and sinners? 3. How is it that John's disciples and the disciples of the Pharisees are fasting, but yours are not? 4. Why are they doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath? 5. Which is lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil, to save life or to kill? The RST for questions are raised by opponents of Jesus. The Pharisees and others are challenging the religious behavior of Jesus and his disciples. In the verses that follow each question, Jesus answers the inquiry with a clear justification of his actions. 1. But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. So he said to the man, I tell you, get up, take your mat and go home. 2. I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners. 3. How can the guests of the bridegroom fast while he is with them? 4. Have you never read what David did? The Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. The FTH question, however, is asked by Jesus and is directed at the Pharisees. The answer to his question is obvious, for the lawful thing is to do good, as Jesus does by healing the man's shriveled hand, and not to do evil, and to kill, as the Pharisees are plotting to do to Jesus. However, even though Jesus has answered their questions, they failed to answer his. Note that Mark balances this VE question episode that occurs early in his book with another VE question episode at the end of his book. The opponents are the same in each episode. Also, in each episode the opponents ask the RST for questions, and Jesus asks the last question. 3. Dialogue. Dialogue, of course, overlaps with the question and answer feature discussed above. The 4 questions in Mark 2:15, 3:6 are part of an ongoing dialogue between Jesus and the Pharisees. Dialogue may seem at RST glance to be too obvious to worry about. Clearly, in narrative material dialogue is employed frequently and is easy to spot. But do not simply read past the point of the dialogue. Note the fact that a dialogue is taking place. Then ask questions of the dialogue. Who are the participants? Who is speaking to whom? What is the setting? Are other people around? Are they listening? Are they participating in the dialogue?